inside another dimension, face battling barbarians and evil magic on a quest for adventure in a maze of monsters. Once you get into it, you'll never be the same. Hero Quest. Now with 2 new adventure packs, the legend grows.
Hi, welcome back to Now Your Mother's Hobbies. Today we are looking at Jungles of Delthrak. We're doing an unboxing here. First look, first impressions kind of thing. We're going to crack this open and check out all the good stuff inside. So here we got some lovely art. Sorry for the glare. Hopefully that'll even out. I'll try to block it if I can. So yeah, we have some lovely art on the front, sticking in theme with what we had before. The other expansions, we have all the contents listed on the back. Lots of miniatures in this one. We also have our story write-up over here. If you care to read that on your own, it's on the outside of the box. You can check it in store. Don't need this video for that. Let's crack this open and see what we got inside. We have a lot of tiles, a lot of brand new tiles and game pieces here, the cardstock pieces. We have, looks like some spider webs, some creatures up here, like insects and snakes and stuff. So those must be like little minions. We have some cool looking artwork here. The very unique tiles we got going on here, as well as some tools, maybe some quest markers. So Venus flytrap, gems, and weird rooms. This second tile is more the same in theme with like very unique extra tiles. Again, sorry for that glare. This is a very large tile. Shows us some outside greenery, trying to evoke, I guess, the jungles rather than giving us a new board. New board would have been nice, but you know. We have lots of little quest tokens. We have some NPCs, it seems like. Ooh, I like this. This is like, it reminds me of like the Fey realm or the Fairy realm. But a lot more really cool stuff going on. This big trap up here. So really liking those card inserts or those tiles. We have our new quest book. We'll get to that a little bit later. What's next? We've got our card pack. Again, we will get to that later. Lots of new stuff in here. It's a thick, beefy card pack. And then we have our miniatures laid out in the plastic form. 2 layers of miniatures. Lots going on in there. I want to say that it is more than in the last couple expansions, but maybe that's because we've had so much repeat furniture. So let's take a look inside the rule book here, see what we have. We have a general overview of our contents. We have some of our new potions put up here as an alchemist shop, so that's really handy kind of handout stuff there. An overview for the rules for the new components, which is handy as well as some of those tiles we saw earlier. We can see the new rule sets for those. So lots of new mechanics going on for the unique pieces that come in this box. We have some extra rules. I think these are repeat rules for starting and playing your quests out. Some monster rules, animal companion rules. That's right, we get multiple animal companions in this one. So that's pretty awesome. Definitely need those animal ally rules. We also have new healing rules or death rules that are more in line with maybe narrative RPGs like D&D. So to give your characters some more lasting power. We have the new icons to go with our boatload of quests that are loaded up in this book. So that's handy and helpful, as well as our little narrative blurb up top. So all in all, a beefy book. And while I try to keep from spoilers and going over too long-winded, I think you got the general impression of what's going to be inside there. Next up, we have our cards, our card pack. We have our new character, the Berserker, some sick art on there. You are the Berserker, a powerful fighter who grows stronger as the odds become more dire. You know how to channel pain and fury into deft power because you like to get up close and personal in combat. You do not use ranged weapons. Pretty rad description there. We have all their abilities. First up is Enrage. As an action, you may lose up to 2 body points to immediately make an attack. Add additional attack dice equal to the number of body points you lose. May be used once per quest. I'm liking that, already very much in theme. Next up, we have Retaliation. This skill cannot be used unless you have 5 or fewer body points. You may use this skill when you take damage from an adjacent monster immediately and make an attack against that monster. It may be used once per quest. I'm really liking how their abilities are damage based or certain health based. Lastly, we have Frenzy. This skill cannot be used unless you have 3 or fewer body points. As an action, you may make a single sweeping attack against all monsters adjacent and diagonal to you. It may be used once per quest. That is rad. So, really cool retaliatory kind of in the fray stuff. This expansion came with 2 characters. So we have the Explorer next, a really cool new dwarf. Awesome artwork here. Our flavor text reads, "You are the explorer, a tenacious adventurer with a knack for finding that which is hidden. You don't wear metal armor so as to nimbly avoid traps. Like the dwarf, you're able to disarm traps without the use of a toolkit. When you do so, roll a combat die. If you rolled a black shield, you fail. On any other roll result, you succeed." Pretty standard there, but he's more a thiefy type. The first ability here we have is Trapsmith. Once per turn, when you move onto a square adjacent to 1 or more traps, Zargon must alert you. Zargon does not, however, place the trap tiles on the board. The traps are still considered concealed and not triggered. So a sort of trap sense that saves you from needlessly using the detect traps or search for traps action. That's pretty cool. Danger sense. Once per turn, when you draw a hazard card from the treasure deck, you may return that card to the bottom of the deck and draw a new card. That's rad. Super useful for getting the most out of the treasure deck. And then lastly, we have Treasure Hunter. When you draw a card from the treasure deck that rewards you with gold coins, you find an additional 25 gold coins. So even more bonuses for searching that treasure deck. Awesome. Then we have the Raptor Ally. A little bit of flavor text here too. The raptor is a faithful animal ally. They're bonded to one hero and take their turn immediately following the turn of their allied hero. They can move, attack, and defend, but cannot perform other actions or use potions. They have a unique talent for opening doors. Oh, clever girl. So a little something extra to make that guy unique. Next up we have the Saber Fang, with some cool flavor text of their own here. The Saber Fang is a faithful animal ally. They're bonded to one hero and take their turn immediately following the turn of their allied hero. They can move, attack, and defend, but cannot perform other actions or use potions or open doors. Important to note. The Saber Fang moves unaffected through squares containing hindering terrain and revealed pit traps. That's great, so it can leap pits and move unhindered in difficult terrain. Slick. And we have the new monster stat cards. We got the Blight Crawler here, looking pretty fearsome. I like those little pustules. Of course, we have the monster card art on the back, so we know what these are. This is the Blight Weaver. This is kind of a redone Dread Cultist, new color scheme. We got a giant ape here with a cool green crystal. We got our Goblin Archers. We've seen those before. We got our Raptors, but these are the villainous ones, the ones that aren't on our team. I like that they have those feathers and stuff on them. Here you can see the color difference between the ally raptor card and the enemy raptor card. Still a slight difference, but that can inform us for painting. We have the serpent. This is our giant serpent boss. Skeleton archers. We've seen those before. Skull Blight. This is our new undead. Some creepy crystals and overgrowth. And then spawnlings. That'll be for those cardboard tokens we saw in the box earlier. We have our potions and items. We're going to keep these secret, keep them safe, give you something to look forward to when you open the box. But we will take a look at these dread spells in a moment. But you can see all the card backs here so we can tell what is what as we go through treasures, artifacts, and potions. So the dread spells, though, we have Creeping Grasp. This spell may be cast on any one hero to ensnare them with vines. Place a grasping vine tile under the targeted hero. They must roll 1 combat die. If they roll a skull, they suffer 1 body point of damage and are restrained by the vines, unable to move from that square. The targeted hero or another adjacent hero can spend an action to destroy the vines, freeing the ensnared hero. Then we also have Channel Dread. This spell may be cast on any one hero to exhaust their life force. Roll 1 red die for each monster adjacent to the caster that can cast this spell. Add 1 point to the die total. On 1, 2, or 3, the hero resists the spell. On 4 or 5, the hero loses 1 body point. On 6+, the hero loses 2 body points. I like that. That'll make those Blight Weaver cultists pretty fearsome, I bet. and Creeping Grasp will add some extra challenge and disruption to managing your action economy. So good spells for Zargon. But now we can move on to the miniatures. I know you've all been waiting for this part. We have the Velociraptor, the Raptor miniature. This is our enemy miniature in green. Really like this sculpt. Really like they added the feathers. They made them a little mix match of what we know raptors to look like in media. We have our hero pet version, which is red plastic, so you can tell them apart if you haven't painted them. Really cool amount of detail on those guys, especially the scales and stuff. Next up, we've got our brand new undead, the Skull Blight. You can see he's done up in that gray undead plastic. He's got lots of creeping vines around him, undead bits and bobs, bones. You can see on his shoulder some of those magic green crystals that are going to be part of the narrative, I'm sure, for the jungle of Delthrak. Lots of crystal motifs all over. Really liking it though, brand new undead. I think we kind of needed that, some more variation. Here we have our other animal ally, the Saber Fang, with an action pose going on. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. I am a little torn. He's got a little stubby tail there, a little cutie pie tail. I'm a little torn with how cute and how ferocious he looks. Maybe with some paint that'll solidify my mind on that one, but it looks a little cutie pie chonky. Then we have our new heroes to look forward to, a little side-by-side comparison. But this is the female Berserker, holding one heck of an axe. Very rough-hewn, stony. I like that. I like the armor that they got going on, this padded kind of stuff. It's not too rustic, not too kind of barbarian ripoff, just not another barbarian. They have their own unique look, complete with that shield on the back. Our Explorer, too, is looking very unique, not just another dwarf. They put a lot of thought, I feel, into these new ones, especially that pack. Look how loaded up that pack is. Lots of story, lots of narrative in there as well. Yeah, I really like what they did with these new classes. They didn't just rehash and make them look, I guess, too identical or too similar to what they could probably replace, right? Because when you put them in your game, you're supposed to replace some heroes. So this guy doesn't look too much like the barbarian we already know. He's really got his own look, and then his abilities to give him his own toolkit. So I'm really liking that. That shield on the back, can't get enough of it. It's so cool. The action pose on this guy, ready to cleave some heads. Again, just really nice sculpts from Avalon. They keep knocking it out of the park. Here we have a crystal, a big old gemmy that I'm sure will add some mayhem to your game. Not sure the stats on them. I did not cover that. Still want some secrets for me to discover, but I'm sure that there is some kind of boon. It sits in this little base that I think can also be used as like a pool. So when it has nothing on it, it is a pool of water, and then when it has something on it, it is, well, either a crystal or we have something else, which we'll show later. But this is what it looks like inside the little mount. Not sure how that's going to look with the transparent plastic. We do paint it as a pool to have some color underneath. We will see how we paint those crystals. Next up we have this Goblin Warlock, a brand new kind of villainous minion here. Lots of detail on here. Big old monsty hand. That hand is huge. We'll probably paint it with some glowing kind of look to it, like we did green fire for the Warlock that we had previously. So maybe some sort of pink fire to go against the green skin, something like that. You can see the comparable size there to the other goblins. Pretty bog standard in terms of how tall they should be. Next up we have this fire. This is another insert, as I was talking about, that goes inside the pool. Some more terrain to go there. I think probably will be some sort of quest item or interactable or narrative object here. Maybe there's some cool stuff going on. Lots of homebrew possibilities for sure in how you can interact with these in your games to expand the life of the game. I know I'm already getting some ideas on what those boons could be or what those uses could be. We do have more treasure, a little area here for a painting that you can put in. Lots of crystals and gems that you can continue to go with the Jungle of Delthrak. Big old crystal theme. So probably be painting those crystals the same as the other ones we see, or as close as I can get. We have a statue here, look like a big old wizzy robe. He's standing on this plinth, all covered with really cool stuff. We haven't seen a statue quite like this before, where the attention to detail on the bottom is just really turned up to the next level. So I like that there, what they did with that statue. We have our bony boy. We've already seen these before, so let's get him out of the way. What else do we have in here? We have a Blightweaver in green. We've seen these. These are the Dread Cultists. Not much else going on other than the color. But hey, we're going to paint him up. We have a different color scheme to do, so that'll be fun. Look forward to that. Next up, we have the Serpent, our big old nasty serpent boss. Lots of detail in those scales all over the place. Lots of ribbing too. So some interesting surface area to get paint on. I like those frills as well on the side. So that'll be fun to paint. Then we have the big old Spidey Beast, the Blight Crawler. Lots of goopy mouth bits in there. I can see that being super fleshy. Some pustules or something on the abdomen to make that look real sick and gross. I like that it's chonky. That'll make it very easy to paint. I paint a lot of spiders usually that are finicky, so that'll be fun. My favorite here, our Gorilla Grodd boy, the giant ape. Really love this. He's got another crystal. Maybe this is what makes him super smart, is he's got this magic crystal on his chest. But I like that he's got that sort of King Kong pose where holding his club above his head. He's touched the monolith. He's beat all the other apes back. He is the cream of the crop, the giant ape. Love it. But there you have it. That is our look into Jungles of Delthrak. There's a lot going on in this expansion, a lot of new mechanics, a lot of fun and interesting ways to play the game, a lot of fun and interesting and unique looking pieces, whether it is the cardboard chits or the new miniatures, whatever have you. Looking like there is a lot. I think this shows promise in that Avalon is going to work hard on keeping this game alive even after rehashing the remaining original expansions. So stick around for more painting tutorials. Check out my Twitch for gaming content. I'll see you later. Bye bye!